October 7th. It's the second hunt of the year. We're set up on a little finger ridge. A lot of white oaks falling. You can hear acorns falling everywhere around here. In the past, there's been a lot of sign on this ridge. I come in here blind this morning. I haven't been in here to scout it this year. But with all the acorns falling, I got a good feeling that there's a good chance we'll see some deer this morning. Stay tuned. If you like what you see, please leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below. We got 3 white oaks dropping acorns within 20 yards of us. There's some pin oaks on down right there dropping too. It ought to be a good morning. It's the first cool front of the year for Oklahoma. We're down here in the 40s today. Alright guys, it's almost 8 o'clock. I just seen my first shooter of the year. Come off this ridge down here. Right down to the draw. Last I seen him, he was right off out in here. Right up in here. He may still be there. I haven't seen him leave. I haven't heard him leave either. He may be just right over there feeding. Wait and see. Alright guys, it's been a little while since we seen that buck. When we get down here, we're going to go around and scout that ridge that buck come off of. I've only hunted in here once before, and the last time I was in here, I had a group of does come from that same direction, but I was up higher, and they come along the edge there around that bench. I got down lower this morning because I wanted to be around these oak trees that are down here, trying to catch these deer feeding. That buck come off the top, come right down that drainage. Just follow that drainage. I'm pretty sure he went up on that next ridge over under the bed. It's a beautiful morning this morning. The wind was supposed to be out of the northeast. Ended up pulling more out of the east than anything. That buck come from my southeast. Come off the top and drop down this drainage and follow this drainage up to the next ridge. Well, there's 2 things he could have done. He could have followed that drainage and went up on that next ridge, or he could have followed that drainage on down and went up over on one of these other points. There's nothing I love more than sitting in a tree stand, watching the sun come up with a bow in my hands. But the second best thing, having that coffee in your hands. Ain't nothing more relaxing than drinking a hot cup of coffee in a tree stand. Hey guys, leave a comment. Let me know if you drink coffee in the tree stand. We're going to hang in here for about another 30 minutes or so. See if the action picks up any. I've heard some deer blowing back down where that buck went. And unfortunately, my wind was pulling more in the direction I was expecting some deer to come from. And I heard some deer blowing over there just a while ago, so I don't know that we'll see much more this morning. When we get down, though, we're going to scout this ridge and see how it's looking. And then we're going to make a little loop around, and we're going to scout that ridge that buck come off of. And if, depending on what we see, we may end up looping around and scouting some of these other ridges down through here as well. I think I know where he's bedding at, but it's really tough to tell. They're about 45 yards. Well, more like 50. I'm in the wrong tree. That first buck come down through that drainage over there. And then these two bucks side-heeled me, which I knew better than to set up on the backbone of this ridge like this, but I did it. They went right down the side hill there. Two shooters right together there. They were coming in, and I drew back, and they stopped. And they sat there for, I don't know, a minute or two. I thought I was in the clear, so I let down. And that one could see me. And they ended up blowing and taking off. Stupid mistakes. Only positive is it's the second hunt of the year, and I've seen 3 shooters. One of them may have been one I seen earlier. I don't know, because he went that direction, and then they come out that he come off the top, dropped down that drainage, and went down in there to the bottom. These two come up out of the bottom and come up to this upside or the side hill of this ridge I'm on. Stupid mistakes, guys. You got to listen to yourself. Like, I knew better than to set up where I set up. But it's the second hunt of the year, and in early season, I just want to see as much as I can see. And I know better. I know I need to be setting up where I think they're going to travel. But I thought they would come up here and they would feed on these acorns up here. There's a bunch of pin oaks over there on that side hill there. And so they may be dropping better than these white oaks. That's disappointing. You go into a spot blind. Mind you, I've hunted in here before, but I haven't been in here in a couple years. And I was just trying to find a spot where I thought some deer would be feeding on some acorns. And I remember a few years ago, I come in here and this whole ridge was tore up with deer sign because the acorns were all over the place in here. And I figured there's a good chance they're in here again this year, so I come on in. But that's where, you know, you got to listen to your gut. You know, if I had more hunts in here, then I'd probably been a little bit better off. If I'd hunted a little higher up, I may have been better off as well. I don't know. You know, you don't know. That's tough. That's hard to eat. That's hard to swallow right there. I was just sitting here. I was getting ready to get down. I really didn't expect to see much else. And I look down the ridge there and I see a deer coming and I see antlers. And I didn't even realize the second one was even there until I got a little closer and I realized there was another. I seen one move and then I seen another one. Both of them shooters. Oh, man. That first tree I was going to get in this morning is about 20 or 30 yards over. And if I had gotten that tree, them deer would have been within 30 yards of me. But right before I started to get up in that tree, I was like, oh, let's go up a little higher so we can see down both sides. Which, if I would have been over there, I would have never seen that buck this morning. I would have heard him, because he sounded like a daggum bear coming off the side of that mountain. But I wouldn't have been able to see him. But I'd have got a shot. That's disappointing. Them bucks. Come right over there. Come right up this ridge on the side hill there. Right through all that thicker stuff. Right up through there. Right up there I had a shot. But even when I dipped down, that limb right there, right here in front of me, was stopping me from being able to shoot. And that's when they stopped on me. And I thought they were behind them trees on both sides here. One was back here behind this group of trees, and I thought that other one was back here behind these. And he could actually see me. And when I let down, he spooked, and they dropped down, back up. All right, guys, we just got down. Right there's our setup. Right up in there. Right up in there. When I say we were set up on the spine of the ridge, you notice that when I get down here, we're right on top. Drop off over there. Drop off over there. The only reason I did that is so I could see down this drainage and I could see over to this drainage. But a lot of times your bucks ain't gonna travel the spine of a ridge. They're gonna want to side hill it right off the edge of this slope here, or right off the edge of that slope here, which is what they did this morning. That one buck, he come off that drainage right off on the other side there, come down, and then side heeled down into the bottom. And then them two bucks earlier come right up the side hill of this one, right up through there. Looks like I should have been a little farther down this ridge. These acorns over here are dropping a lot more than the ones up there where I was at. See, we're getting down here towards the end of this point that we've set up on. And right here is what you would call a thermal hub. You got a ridge coming down this way, the ridge we're on. There's 3, 4, 5 ridges converging right here. And all 3 of them bucks, the one went down in here, 2 of them come up out of it. I should have. Fresh scrape. Licking branch there. That ridge over there is where we were set up this morning. That first buck this morning, he come right down this drainage here. Right through all this thicker stuff here. Alright guys, I'm back up here on this bench. We was right down there on this ridge that runs down through there. And now that I'm back, we've made a circle. Come back around, there's fresh scrape right up here on this bench. The wind's a lot more consistent up here than it was down there in that thermal hub. Maybe I should have sit up here this morning. There's always them what ifs. Alright guys, we're back at the truck. We had a good morning. Seen 3 shooters. The closest they got was the 2 bucks that come in later in the morning. They come in about 45, 50 yards. And they ended up busting me. I drew back on them. They stopped. I thought I could let back down. And one of them seen me and they busted off. The other one, he never seen nothing. He just come down that drainage there and went off. But all of them all of them come through that thermal hub down there at the bottom of the ridge. But the problem was, once I got down there, I got to trying to find a spot to set up, and the wind was just too iffy down there. I mean, I'd have to have a really calm morning or evening to get down in there and be able to hunt it. up top, once I got back up top, I made a little loop around. I got back up on top where that bench is. I found some fresh scrapes in there. I don't know. We're probably gonna let this place rest for a couple days. We'll probably try somewhere else. It just depends. Depends on what I see this evening. I got a spot I'm gonna go scout, and we're gonna hunt this evening. I don't know where we're gonna hunt yet. Depending on what kind of luck we have this evening, or while we're scouting, determine on whether or not we come back here in the morning or not. But after them 2 bucks busted, I might let this thing rest for a little while. We got youth season next weekend. Any one of them 3 bucks Easton would love to shoot, and so we may wait, and I may leave it alone and just come back next weekend with Easton. Let him see if he can get a shot at one of them. It was a great morning. It was the first cold front of the year. We was 60s and 70s, or we was in the 70s and 80s like yesterday. And this morning it was in the upper 40s. It definitely had the bucks up on their feet. I wasn't in the right tree. I wasn't in the right tree, and I knew better than to set up where I did, but I did it anyway. So if you like what you're seeing, guys, please leave a like and subscribe. Let me know if you guys have the same problem where your instincts tell you to do one thing and you do another, even though you know you shouldn't. Also, let me know if you drink coffee in the tree stand too. That's one of my favorite things in the morning, is drinking that hot cup of coffee, sitting in the tree stand, watching the sun come up over the ridges. But remember, hit the like and subscribe. Thanks for watching this video, Boys from Oklahoma Outdoors, guys. Hey guys, I just wanted to check in with you guys. Second hunt out of the tree saddle. Got a whole lot easier. Was a lot more comfortable this time after I found the adjustments that fit me the best. The only thing that I didn't like this morning was my boot choice. I was wearing my real thin lacrosse turkey hunting boots, and the soles aren't very thick on these, and so I could really feel the pressure on my feet whenever I was standing. But it was a good thing about the saddle is I could just kind of sit into the saddle and take pressure off my feet here and there and relieve it. It wasn't just unbearable, but it was an annoyance. Now, the other day when I wore my regular lace-up boots, I didn't feel that. The soles on them were a lot better than these little thin rubber boots. But just something to keep in mind, if you do go to a saddle, that, your boot choice does matter.